All right, we're back. Let's try identifying functions. Now, at this point, there's two types of functions. We're talking about linear functions. You've done that for years, and we're talking about exponential. And it's actually pretty easy to spot the difference between the two. A linear function is going to have a constant rate of change that allows you to go between each point, if you were, in a table, or every output, every input, and increase by adding. And an exponential has a constant rate of change that's going to allow you to move between the input and output that is done by multiplying. Now, the adding and multiplying is to the output. In other words, you're going to be having to add or you're going to be having to multiply to get the output. Let's see what that looks like in a table here. So if we're looking at this, we see that we're adding one. All this is doing is showing that it's constant. This has nothing to do with what we're interested in, even though the word addition is included. What we're interested in is looking at the y values or the output. We're looking to see is if we are adding or multiplying. We can do both. We can add 2 here, or we could multiply by 2. So the first time or the first sequence we look at, there's almost always the option. We can either do it by adding or by multiplying. The question is, which one are we having to do to the next? I can't take 4 times 2 to get 6. So that means I'm adding. And again, I'm adding. That's my overall consistency I'm looking for. So in A, it represents a linear function because we're adding to get the next output. All right, let's look at B. B is going to be a little bit different. Actually, for the most part, it's actually kind of the same, because if we go from 0 to 1, that's adding. Here to here, 1 to 2 is adding, 2 to 3 is adding. But remember, that's just to help show the consistency. What we're interested in is going from 4 to 8. We can do that by adding 4, or we can do that by multiplying by 4. So we're interested in the next interval from 8 to 16. I cannot add 4 to 8 to get to 16, but I can. Oh, sorry. Wow. I used 4s here and y'all didn't stop me. All right. We can either add 4 or multiply by 2. Okay, well, I can't add 4 to 8 to get 16, but I sure can multiply by 2 to get 16. And if I go from 16 to 32, I'm also multiplying. So we still have consistency by multiplying. So B is an example of an exponential function because we're multiplying to get the next output. So it really comes down to, how do we get from one y value to the next? Are we adding to get there, or are we multiplying? Then you have to look at the second set and see which one you're doing, adding or multiplying. Consistently adding to get the next y output is linear. Consistently multiplying to get the next y output is going to be exponential.